Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mike Plays RP1. This is the series in which I'm working my way through the contracts and the programs in the RP1 mod pack. And if you're interested in installing RP1 for yourself, including some of the extra mods, not some, all of the extra mods that I added on top of what you get with the RP1 quick install, you can take a look down in the description down below. All the information you need is down there. But getting into what's going to be going on today, well, this episode, I think it's going to be an exciting one because the last couple of episodes have really just been build episodes. We've not performed any kind of missions. And in fact, last episode, and if you want to take a look at that episode, if you didn't catch it, you can find a link to it up here towards the top right. But last episode, we completed the build on 3 different vessels and got them all integrated. And so this episode is just going to be time warping until those vessels are complete and performing those missions. So what we have coming up here, well, first off, we have the Bell X2. It is coming up on October the 11th. It is currently September the 24th, so not that far away. And then we have out of the Sounding Rocket Launch Complex, which I just resurrected last episode, the U-2000B sounding rocket for collecting more science. The Bell X2, by the way, is a rocket plane that's going to be trying to break the 25-kilometer crude altitude record. That will get us some flight directors, as well as collecting some supersonic science. The U-2000B is also going to be for science, specifically small biological samples, going up into space and seeing how they do. And then finally, we're going to get the inaugural launch of the Redstone/U-2000B, same rocket as here, but now mounted on top of my Redstone rocket. That's coming up on November the 1st. Again, not too far away. And that one's going to be shooting for the Downrange Milestone contract for 6,000 kilometers downrange, as well as collecting magnetic spectroscopy or something? I can't. Well, we'll look at it. But there is a science experiment board that it needs to collect. Okay, so with that introduction out of the way, all that's left to do is actually warp to each of these. So let's get ourselves to the Bell X2. Sorry, Bell X1's already done, and Bell X2 needs to be air launched. So we're going to prep that for air launch. That's going to take another 5 and a bit days, and that'll still get done before anything else. So it's going to be dropped from a bomber of some kind, and now we're ready to air launch this. So let's just push air launch, and I'm pretty sure I upgraded my air launching capabilities. So I think I'm just looking at my altitude and my velocity. I'm pretty sure I can hit max and both of those will go up. They do, yes. So we can get up to an altitude of 9,000, just over 9 kilometers, and a velocity will drop it from 175 meters per second. I'm going to increase this distance to, you know what, let's leave it at 250. 250 might be safer. No, let's go to 300. I'm just thinking I'm dropping it from a higher altitude, so it'll probably travel further to get back to the runway. The rest of it should be okay. So azimuth from the Space Center, 90 degrees. We're going to launch east of the Space Center, so over the Atlantic Ocean. But the launch azimuth, the way the vessel is pointed, will be 270. It's going to be pointing to the west because we got to come back. Yeah, I think we're all set. So we'll hit launch. And George did our first flight and was successful. But Frederic Michel, kind of got burned on our second flight when his engine failed to ignite. So I think I'm going to give Frederic another chance at this. And why would I include a parachute? Why would you not include a parachute? Why wouldn't the default be that they I don't know. Whatever. So let's launch this. Yeah, let's do it. All right, and we're going to hit Shift P and P to enable fly-by-wire. We got a limited amount of time before the actual air launch happens. You can see it 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I got to hit Z to get the throttle up. Come on, come on. There it goes. Sorry, I had this menu, and we're off. All right, I had the. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! I don't know why we got a little bit of my fingers might have been in the wrong spot there. Don't know what happened there. We're fine now. Yeah, definitely, this was wrong. Okay, let's... You can see my Z's there. Okay, let's open up the cruise flight controller. We want to get to an altitude of 25.1 kilometers. So we'll set our cruise controller that. Our heading, we'll start that at 270. That is fine. Speed control, we do want that at 500 meters per second, but we're not going to engage that just yet. So now we're going to put on our cruise controller. Oh, climb angle, we can put that up to like 15. There we go. Cruise like... Whoa, 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 whoa. This seems... Am I not time warping or something? No. Okay, we'll get rid of this. And, so... I don't want to engage the throttle control yet, because what the plane will do is level off and get to this speed before it starts to climb. And I don't want to do that. I want to climb right now. Now, I do have some contracts. Hang on here. Oh, wait. Shoot, I got... No, no. Wait. This is... Crewed missions. Oh, shoot. We have this experimental Rocketplanes. We have... Oh, shoot. I'm already... Oh, shoot. Okay. Experimental Rocketplanes was to reach 320 meters per second while between 10 kilometers and 12.5 kilometers in altitude. I'm already over 12.5 kilometers in altitude. So I kind of botched that one. Okay. I'll have to do that another time. But we will go for this 25 kilometer altitude record. And we will be collecting science. There is the supersonic flight science. I need to get to... I really should be looking at these things before I do the missions. The current vessel, supersonic flight. Oh, there's none of it's been collected yet, but I go down here. I got to be between... I got to be flying low, so that's below 40 kilometers, but above 10 kilometers, and between a speed of 450 and 425 meters per second. That's why I wrote in the KOS thing to max this out at 500 meters per second. It's all coming back to me. Ah, you take a few days and don't play, and then you forget everything that you were doing. Okay, otherwise, I think it's doing pretty good. I gotta watch my speed. I don't want the speed to get over... I might engage the speed control before it gets to 500 meters per second. Oh, it's starting to level off anyway. Okay, let's engage the speed control. Alright, yeah, we're reducing velocity here. And what it actually does, it's kind of cool how this works. If I... And we should get over the 25 there. We're over the 25, so we're just going to cruise here for a little bit. What the motor does, you don't really have, like, unlimited throttle range. What it does is, if we take a look at where the thrust is, there, you can see how the thrust is pulsing? So what it does is it just, there's 4 engines here, and it just, all of them can only go at full thrust. So what it does is it turns off engines. So like if you turn off one engine, you're at 75 thrust, 2 engines, you're at 50% thrust. One engine is 25% thrust, and you can see what it's doing. It's kind of pulsing that second engine to keep the speed right around where it is, which, I don't know, might not be entirely realistic, but I honestly don't really care too much about that. We'll just let this cruise like this. It's doing okay. I can actually probably come down, but we are collecting the supersonic flight science. That's what's more important. I'm going to leave it like... I was thinking of coming down in altitude, but I'm worried that what it'll do is shut off the engines as it comes down. And although this technically has unlimited ignitions, every time you ignite the whole thing, there's a chance that it fails, so it's better not to turn it off. I like the pulsing, though. So we're just going to kind of cruise like this. Oh, waypoint, waypoint, waypoint. Let's put on our KSC waypoint there and actually lock this to the waypoint. There we go. So we're 185 kilometers from the KSC. And we'll see how this goes. I'm going to start giving this a little bit of time warping. It might end up cruising well past the KSC. So I got to remember this one. This, no, not that one. Next crude altitude record is 30 kilometers, but this one's the one I botched. So we'll do some, why don't we modify our script here. Yeah, I know what I'll do. We're gonna go to fly-by-wire. This is that X-Planes boot script. And print initial altitude to be, what was the before 12, so let's go with 12 kilometers. So make the initial altitude 12 kilometers, 12, then I guess 30.1 to break the next altitude record. Oh no, we'll need a new... Okay, I know it'll just put it at 12. Do I want the velocity max? I don't know, put a question mark on that. Oh dear. What? What? That was a big noise. I don't know what happened there. Oh, it's the engine going on and off. Okay. Okay, oh, yeah. We are going to be going over. Let's increase our speed here a little bit. Let's increase to 600. I don't like that engine going on and off like that. I worry it's going to fail. I want to burn the rest of this fuel. And that kind of reminds me. Our next speed record's 900 meters per... Maybe we'll go for some more of these speed records. The next altitude record is 30 kilometers, but the issue is... I need to put this back on heading because we're coming over the waypoint. And I don't know what it'll do once I go over the waypoint. If it's still locked to waypoint, it might spiral down. But this cockpit has a max altitude of 30 kilometers before it starts to put the pilot into some trouble. But I have unlocked the upgrade to this, which gets you up to 75 kilometers in altitude. But I'm thinking what I might do... I'm thinking my next mission, I'm just going to fly this again for the sole purpose of doing this contract, the experimental Rocketplanes contract. And, boy, I clearly should have launched from further away, though. Oh well. One thing to worry about at a time. We're going to obviously have to turn around. That's okay. But then, you know, do this contract, and then when this contract is done, we can go for some altitude. We'll upgrade this and go for some altitude records. Okay. In the meantime, we're just going to run this until it's out of fuel. Kind of reminded me of something. I want to put a drain valve on this. I do have those parts unlocked. That will allow me to drain these tanks, because the second time this plane flew, when Frederic did his first flight, the engine failed to ignite, and I had to land with a full tank of fuel, and it was very heavy, and that probably contributed to how violent the landing was. And what I would like to do is... what I would like to do is put a drain valve on this thing so that if I run into a similar situation, I can drain all the fuel. They would have done this in real life in that situation too. And then that way we're landing with empty tanks. Alright. Well past, everyone wave. We're going past there. I don't think it's a big deal to actually go past now that I think about it. Because you can just turn around. Right? It might be safer to air launch a little closer so that if you do get an engine failure, you actually still have a chance to make it to the runway. Oh, I'll have to think about that. Anyway. We should be running out of propellants any moment now, and then we will begin to adjust things. Start bringing ourselves down. Wow, any time now. Run out of fuel, please. There we go. Okay, so let's bring our altitude down to 10,000 meters. We'll take the speed control off, deploying flaps. Let's drop a little bit steeper. Let's say 25 degrees. And what I want to watch is this angle to the runway, because we're going to need to turn around. So right now our angle to the runway is getting close to 15 degrees. I want to make sure I can turn around and make a run for that, but I don't want to turn around at too high a speed. Oh, that reminds me, last time I tried to turn around, keeps turning that off. Moderate G's, keep that on, not to 15, to 5. There, my goodness. Why doesn't, game just wants to mess you up. So as soon as I want to turn around right now. Let's chain this to 10 degrees. Like that. And let's retract our flaps and click on waypoint. Ooh, yeah, okay. So it's a nice calm turn. Good plane. Good plane. Good plane. Good plane. That's because I moderated the G's. Or else it does this crazy turn. And actually, while we're doing this, let's bring this down to like 1,000 meters for our vertical. And we're getting to the runway. It's 8 degrees, so probably keep this at 10. Add a little bit at an angle and put on those flaps again. Okay. And I think as well at this point, I'm so used to not quick saving, because many of you might be aware I do a live stream every week that I play regular KSP but in hardcore mode, where you don't do any saves or reverts or anything like that. But I'm not going to play RP1 that way, so I am going to give myself a quick save right around here. I should just get back into doing that habit, because landing in KSP always doesn't come without an element of risk. And so I don't want to do myself in just because of something silly happening. I'll live with the consequences of my actions, but, you know, if the game just does something weird, I don't want to pay the price for that. Okay, let's take a look. What are our messages here? Crude altitude record, 25 kilometers. Congratulations, you have a new crude altitude record, 7 reputation for that. And there are our flight directors. So right after this mission, we'll have to get into the administrative building. Take a look at that. I'm going to increase this climb angle to 8 degrees, or I guess decrease it. Is that? No, whatever. Maybe, nah, we'll leave it. Maybe 10. No, put it back at 10. 10 was good. A little time warp. We're still 70 kilometers away. Okay. And I have to remember too, if I'm time warping, don't forget to take the time warp off. I'm really bad for that. I've done some pretty hairy landings, and all of a sudden realized afterwards, oh my god, I had the time warp on that whole time. That's why it felt so fast. All right. In fact, I might even decrease those flaps just a little bit. Oh, no, I'm starting to increase speed now. I don't want that. Still want the speed to go down. Okay, that was a mistake. I don't know why I'm more comfortable. I went to this side because it's better lit from this side, but I'm more comfortable flying from this side. I don't know why that is. That makes no sense. It should make a difference, but it does. Okay. Okay, getting close to 150 meters per second, 15 kilometers from our waypoint. I think our approach is good. Oh, leveling off. That is my cue to put this on standard fly-by-wire, so we no longer have, and I'm going to give a little less on those flaps. But now I'm the one, oh, take the time warp off, landing gear down. See, I'm not quite, take those flaps right off, in fact. I'm pretty slow. Get myself lined up with that runway a little better. Probably take the waypoint off. Kinda slow. Maybe. I don't know. Might be okay. Not quite sure how good a glider this thing is. We're getting close to 100 meters per second. I want to kind of keep that speed. I think we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, let's flaps. Arm that parachute. It should deploy when we're... Oh, it should be deploying at 100 meters per second. And it's not deploying. Okay, let's put her down. Come on, get down. Get down. Alright, we're down. Okay, no parachute. I'm pretty sure I reset it, so maybe it's fouled up with the engine. I did change the engine. It's back in here. There it is there. It's armed, it's just not... I don't know, it might be messed up somehow. Alright, anyway, we're down. We're safe, so that's all that matters. So recover back to the spaceplane hangar. Okay, so we got 3.3 credits of science. We're up to 6.6 science now. So that's cool. Frederic is going to be off until November the 6th. They always take a few weeks off. Take our science. So this is a partially successful mission. It's being recovered. It's going to be recovered on October the 29th. So what's that? 13 days, so a little less than 2 weeks. Well, if you hold over it, it tells you. So then we'll take a look at it and we'll refuel it and check out what's going on with the parachute. Let's get into the admin building. And yeah, we got flight directors here. We can pick a flight director. All right, so let's see. We have Vladimir Barman. Vladimir Barman is minus 5% funds costs for launch complex construction and maintenance. Minus 5% fund costs on VAB rollouts. Minus 5% speed for spaceplane integration. I'm not quite sure I like that because I want to do a lot. I'm going to be doing a lot of that X-plane stuff over the next little bit. 25%, so Yuri Gagarin. 25% time until crew retire. Oh, so the crew will retire further into the future. 5% speed of crew training. So crews train faster. Plus 5% funds for crew salary. Oh, this is a crew-friendly guy. I guess that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Training X minus 10% fund cost for training your crew. Plus 10% speed for crew training. Plus 5% reputation loss from reputation decay. That was Homer Hickam. Then we have Chris Kraft. Plus 5% speed of VAB integration, rollout, and rollback. Plus 5% speed of launch complex efficiency gain. And plus 5% fund costs for new crew training. Training's pretty cheap. I'm not sure. And then Gene Krantz. We have plus 10% reputation from contracts. plus 5% speed for VAB rollout, plus 5% funds cost for crew training. Okay, these two are a little similar. I kind of like Gene better. And then Deke Slayton, minus 15% funds for crew salaries, minus 5% funds for crew training, minus 5% speed for crew training, kind of similar to what Yuri was like. And then Abdul Kalam, 10% to integration speed of vessels more than 1,750 liters. Oh my God, that's a lot. Solid propellants. Plus 10% confidence from contracts, plus 10%. No, I don't like you. I'm going to go with Gene. I think so. I like the faster rollouts, more reputation gain. Like them. Okay, Gene it is. You are now, look at how big our team is getting here. Okay. Back to, let's just get actually back into, so coming up next in 3 days, we have the U2000B. Let's warp to the completion of that. That's happening before the Bell X2 is recovered. And we'll roll that out, and that will still be before the X2 is recovered. So get to that. All right, and launch. Okay, so no contracts this time. This one is purely for science, but these guys are pretty cheap to pull out or roll out. It's been a little while since you've seen one of these. I actually disconstructed. I actually decommissioned the launch complex, but I've recently resurrected it for the sole purpose of collecting the biological sample science. It'll collect science in high atmosphere, above 40 kilometers, and in space as well once I get above 140. So basically, that's all this is. This is just a science thing. So let's just run our program here. Very simple. Hoping to pump out a few of these. See how it goes. All right. Booster's very reliable. It's the next stage. And, oh dear. Oh, that's not good. Oh! Okay. Not sure how ullage was not lost there. It did not stage automatically. Something, maybe I'll take a look at the smart part, see if I can... Might start this motor just a little earlier. Okay, so that's not cool. I did lose some speed because of that. So it may not go as high as I normally would like, but it is going to collect some science. Unless something really bad happens on the way up. So what we're aiming for is the biological sample science. We can take a closer look at it. If we open up our little science archive here. Filter by current vessel, biological sample. You can see I've already collected some. I just want to collect more. So I've collected 90% of the flying high. So that's between an altitude of 40 kilometers and 140 kilometers. It is not biome specific, so once it's collected, we're done. There's no sense going anywhere else. But I've only collected 20% of the space low. So that I need to get above 140 kilometers, and that isn't going to happen. Poop. Okay. Because our apogee, I'm sorry, is only at 116 kilometers. So we're not getting into space today. We are collecting a little bit of science here. And I got about a minute and a half worth to collect. I'll have to investigate what happened there. That's stinky. But unfortunately, maybe we can get all this stuff. Fortunately, that's the way it goes. But these are cheap to roll back out. Like I said, I might investigate the smart parts on this to get... I think I need to ignite this engine a little bit sooner. I'm surprised it ignited like when it did. I thought the whole mission was lost at that point. Oh, we are going to be done biological samples in the upper atmosphere. In 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay, we just need to recover our payload. And I think what happens with this is, I believe, once we are below 100 kilometers. I think that's when they... We'll find out. I think that's when this is going to detach. Yep, there it goes. And hopefully that will not hurt anybody. Oh, we got a few explosions down there. I was a little surprised at that, to be honest. I didn't think it'd be going fast enough. I should also say that this isn't quite the same rocket you've seen in a few episodes ago, the U-2000, because I have upgraded the tank to aluminum stringer tanks. So it is lighter, which means it should go higher when the engines function the way they're supposed to. And we might just be landing in someone's backyard. That's okay. How much science do we have aboard here? 1.4 science aboard. I think I could probably make these parachutes a smidge smaller. I just don't know if I care. We're 3.9 meters per second is our speed right now. Gotten a lot of grief in the comments about my use of these radial parachutes. I do think I'm finally using them correctly, but or not the radial one, the inline one, sorry. But I think they just fit in there nicer. All right, here we go. 50 meters, 40 meters. Let's take the time warp off. 20 meters. Are we going to disappear into the texture a little bit? Oh, yeah. Oh, a little bit, just right on the shoreline. And recover. Okay, so that got me 1.4 science and completed the flying high biological sample stuff. So I'm now up to 8 science. Let's take a quick look in here. Can I unlock something? I'm really looking at orbital rocketry. I'm really thinking that should be my goal. Satellite era electronics. Oh, okay. I think this is the one I want, and it's 7. It's 7. I do think I want it. I want it. I want orbital rocketry, 1956 to 1957. Because this has got, well, as the name implies, rockets to get you into orbit. So we're gonna get that one researching. Let's take a look at what we have going in our research queue. I think I want orbital. What is satellite era material science? What is that? That's this one. Balloon tanks. So I probably do want that, and lots of modular tanks. Further, oh, these are like more stocky type of parts down here. Oh, and an engineer efficiency upgrade. Yeah, we'll go with that. I think that's a good one to get, but... And what's with solid rocket motors? That is this one. Are any... No, baby sergeant... Oh, the sergeant... Baby sergeants... okay, let's think. Well, I might just keep... I might keep this order for now. I really want to kind of push the orbital rockets up higher. I might do it. I'll flip those two. There we go. Okay, let's get into the VAB. And we'll investigate this rocket. So I am thinking there is a smart part buried down here somewhere. It can be so hard to just... get in there. Does anybody else have problems sometimes just zooming in on a particular... Like, I can't aim the camera here. No. I'm just gonna temporarily take... Oh no. It's in... I think the smart part's in there. I just need to find it. I need to be able to get to it. Ah, you're such a stinker. Okay, what if I made it the root part? Does that affect that? You would think I'd be better at this, given how long I've played this game. Root part, dummy. If I make it the root part, can I zoom in there? No, it's based on where the center of mass of the vehicle is, but now I can take this off, right? Okay, do I have to just take this whole thing and just raise it into the air? Oh, shoot. Are you really going to be this way for me? Can I select it that way? Oh, wait a second. Okay, this is the part I wanted. So it's this guy. What it does... Oh, the staging is messed up. Of course you are. Let's fix our root part. Okay. So we first fire off the SRB. Get rid of this. All messed up. And then this. That gets first. And then when this gets to a certain percentage, it fires off this engine, starts a timer, and that's that. And then that's for the parachute at the top. I don't think this is the smart part I want. I think I want the smart part that's hiding inside here. Why you're being so terrible to me? Can't get close enough. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure I've ever had this issue before. Like if I raise this way in the air, that doesn't solve my problem, does it? Oh, it does. Oh my god. There is a smart part in here that I hid. This one? Yes. The Drain X one and this one. Oh my gosh. Okay. So. So when this gets down to 10%, it's going to ignite this engine, and I think it's just igniting that engine a little bit too late, so I'm going to change it to 11%. But then what I'm also going to do is increase this to 0.2 of a second, maybe 0.3 of a second. So this is running for a little while before it lets go to this. There are people that tell me I should be just starting both engines at the same time at the bottom. I don't want to do that. Okay, now I'm happy with this. So we're going to save this. I should probably simulate, just in case I messed up something else. Simulate. Don't need McJeb. So this should fire up a little earlier. And then go. Yeah, but then it gets that little wobble from the... That's why I don't do them both at the same time, because you get that super... it's okay. It's stabilized. It's fine. You get that little bit of a wobble induced just by the SRB pushing at the bottom of it. Just wait. Revert flight. What am I doing? Revert flight, revert flight. Restart the simulation. If that is indeed the problem, just this time needs to be longer. So that it does not, let's go with a full half second, so that it does not let go. Oh, wait a sec. This is in the wrong spot. Oh my gosh. The staging's not right. That's the way it should be. Okay, let's go back to 0.3 of a second. Staging was wrong. That's what the whole timer is for, is to stage. Let's make sure this works right. Okay. Then this engine fires, timer goes, and yeah, that makes way more sense. So there's a 0.3 of a second before it actually releases the rocket, and that gives the time for the SRB to just run out of juice. Okay, we're done. We're back to the editors. The staging. This staging is incorrect. That should be there. I wonder if that's been that way for a little while. Okay, I am stopping the playing. We're going to save this and we're going to build it. Should probably add it to my plans too. Add to plans. Close. Build. Get out of here. Alright, so we got ourselves a new... where is it here? Dun dun dun. Where is the U2000? Oh, right here, being built. November 15th is when it is. It'll be after the Redstone. We are recovering that. Let's just take a quick look at staffing and cost, because I'm noticing I'm up a bit of money. And we are running a pretty healthy surplus. I mean, I'm very happy with that. Yeah. So let's see if we do some more higher. Now, I want to be a little careful, because once I am done with the, and I'll probably maybe 2 more launches of that U2000B. Once I'm done with that and I've collected all that science that there is to collect, I don't see any reason to have that launch complex going. And right now, we have 17 people in that launch complex. And those 17 will come over to Launch Complex 2. It's bringing that up to 130. Oh, I can also chuck them into the hangar. Let's put our energy into researchers. I got 150 engineers. Let's see if we can put some energy into the researchers. So we'll hire 10 more researchers. That'll cost me 3,000. And 10 more. And now we're going to stop. 280. You know what? I can do 10 more. 290 now won't let me hire anymore. Still running a very healthy surplus over here. So that's cool. That's cool. Okay. What's coming up next? We are reconditioning the launch pad and recovering the Bell X2. So then we can go take a look at that. Okay, so we're going to edit this. And a couple of things we've got to do. First of all, we do need to fill the tanks. We want these tanks to be full again. But there is something wrong with this parachute. And my guess is that it's somehow getting fouled up with all of this motor stuff. But I don't want to put it on the outside. I like it to be kind of tucked in here. Maybe if I just simply slide it up a bit. I don't want it to clip out. There, it's starting to clip out. Maybe if it's just up like that. Maybe that'll work better. I don't know. You know what we can do is quick simulation on the runway and just kind of get it going down the runway and then just press and see if it deploys. That's what I might just do. Okay, and let's show the parachute editor. I should be able to just flat out apply settings, right? Spare chutes. I don't need spare chute. Well, maybe a spare chute's not a bad idea now that I think about it. So apply settings. That says successful. Let's do a quick simulation on the runway. Okay, and what we're going to do is I'm going to give me, say, half throttle. We're going to get this rolling down the runway, and then we're going to deploy the parachute and see what happens. I'm just noticing here this is all kerbotched. Okay, X. Is it going to deploy? Maybe it wasn't going fast enough? This is not smart, but this is a simulation. Maybe I need to get up. Oh my god, this thing's really not wanting to get. Okay, can we take off? We can. Ah! Oh, I don't have my flight assists on. Oh boy. Okay. Either way, and all of that did not. Oh, and we did not die somehow in all of that. Let's revert to editor. There's got to be a solution to this parachute issue. What if I pull it all the way out like this? And then down. So it's not in all of that schmaz, if you know what I mean. Like it's mounted on there, right there. Nothing's interfering with that. I hope. And maybe there's something else going on that I'm just unaware of too. Like it might not be. Show parachute editor. Let's look through this really carefully. So it's on drag. That's for the texture though. Deploy on ground contact. Why? Maybe that should be true. Must go down to deploy. That might be why it didn't deploy just a moment ago. Planned landing speed of 80 meters per second. Wanted deceleration 10 meters per second. Deployment altitude 50 meters. Oh, that's pre-deployment altitude is 50 meters. Deployment altitude 10 meters. I might not have gotten above that stuff. Let's give this one more go. You know what? Screw it. I can land without the parachute anyway. It's kind of cosmetic. We just did it. So I'm going to save this. It says very. And then we're going to retract our landing gear. Because we do want this to. The landing gear has to be retracted. Oh, really? You're not going to let me? There we go. Okay, and then we're going to save our edits. It's only going to take 49 minutes for the changes we made there. All right, and actually, while I'm thinking about that, let's open up our contracts and come up with a decent flight plan for this. So, we're going to go for Rocketplanes experimental. So, between 10 kilometers and 12.5 kilometers, reach a speed of 320 meters per second. That's it. That's the whole thing. So we don't have to, it's not a biggie. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this in a couple of stages. I know what we're going to do. And then I also want to take a look at this. So we're going to come up with a flight plan to be able to do that and collect more of this supersonic flight science stuff. There, that's the one. So let's open up Visual Studio. So we are, this is the X-planes. I don't know how what am I don't even understand. Oh, this is long. Okay, I understand what I did there. That is altitude for, we'll keep that at 250. That's for the airdrop. The altitude, we're going to go to 12 kilometers and then up to 20 kilometers. What's the altitude? Oh, no, you need to just be at... Shoot. Maximum 500, yes. So, let's change this to 15. I don't know if we need to be this high. So we want to max out at 12 kilometers. Velocity max, we want to get to 500 meters per second. Yes. That's all good. Okay. Hide that. So the plan is going to be to get up to 12 kilometers, hit this 320, complete this contract. Well, we still have to land, but that's okay. And then go up to 15 kilometers and increase the speed to 500 meters per second, and that will be to do this contract. I like it. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that makes sense. Okay, let's where are we at? We got the Bell X2 is getting just refurbished, and we can prep that for air launch. But the Reds, all of these are coming in very quick succession. Let's see what happens first. So, the V2, the Redstone, is going to be ready first, but we still got to roll it out. Okay, we're going to roll that out. And we're going to do the X2 first. Nice. And then the Redstone will be ready before the U2000B is ready, the second launch of that. Excellent. Okay, let's do that. Warp to daytime, because I don't want to fly and land at night. And we are going to air launch. 300 kilometers, I think it was okay. I think it's okay to go past 300 kilometers. I'm going to keep all these numbers the same. So we're going to launch, give you a parachute. George, it's going to be your turn now. Let's launch it. Okay, shift, get off of here. Shift P and P. And go. Get some Zs in there. And air launch. Go, go, go. Ignite. And up. Okay, we got to get this ready. We do not need to go up too high. Get this ready. This needs to be at 12 kilometers. 100 like that, and that's it. Heading is that good, and vertical motion, no speed control. Cruise flight controller. There we go. And this again is for this contract. I hate you don't have the time to set this all up beforehand. There we go. So this should be crewed missions. This one. So it shouldn't get above 12 kilometers, and then we can wait till we're at 320, and then we're going to give it to Beans and get up to 15 kilometers and give it to Beans to do the science stuff. I hope. Okay. All right, George. Let's see how you do. We can also get our waypoint set up here. But right now, it should be leveling off at 12 kilometers, and then get to 320. Oh, and then I got to reach 1250 meters per second. Okay, that's fine. I see that there's two stages to this. Okay, 320 meters per second. It's done that. Okay, so now what I want to do is get this altitude up to 15. There we go. Oh, we can climb faster than this. And this is where we're going to set our speed limit at 500. 500. Contract just went green. All we got to do now is land. Oh, we're losing speed. Let's put this to 10. Okay, and we'll just keep an eye on our experiment here. Okay. It's going to level off at 15 kilometers. I actually don't know if I needed to go up in altitude. Don't need that anymore. But I thought it probably wasn't. I don't know if I get into trouble going that fast at a lower altitude. Okay, we're going to set our speed control at 500 now that we're at altitude. And again, that's for this supersonic business thing. We got to get 400 and something, 450 maybe, or something like that before this will click on. We'll find out in just a sec. Keeping track of all this stuff, I tells ya. Okay, we just clicked on here. 450 meters per second is where that clicked on. And again, this is going to max out at 500. I do have the speed control on. And we still got 11 minutes and 45 seconds of this science to collect, and we are 234 kilometers from the runway. Let's actually put this on our waypoint. Nicey nice. And again, this time the Gmod moderated G-forces are on. Alright, it's moderating. Now you can start to see. Remember before when we were at 25 kilometers? It had the throttle like way down around 25%. Now it's got the throttle closer to about 75%, maybe even a little more than that, in order to maintain 500 meters per second. So it probably is worth my time to get up to 25 kilometers. I'm going to stick with what I've done so far, but just in terms of fuel efficiency, you can see how much more throttle we have to give here at 15 kilometers, just because the air is thicker. Just because the air is thicker. Alright, going to give us a little time warping. Because we're just going to run this until it runs out of juice. Oh, my parachute's armed. Okay, so the staging's a little messed up. I'll have to fix that. That's okay. Maybe it's even better to arm the parachute right from the get-go. I mean, it will not deploy until we're going down below 50 meters per second, so, or below 50, an altitude of 50 meters, so maybe it's better this way anyway. Man, that way I won't forget to deploy it. Okay, we are almost out of fuel. Take the time warp off. Why won't the time warp come off? It is off. Why does it say time warp 3 times up there? That was weird. Okay, should be out of fuel any moment. We still have... Well, we've collected over half of this supersonic flight, so I'm guessing about 2 more flights of this and it should be good. Okay, our angle to the runway is about 6 degrees, so we're going to put this to 300 meters and this to 8 degrees. And we're going to slow... Oh, no, we're slowing down pretty good already. We're in pretty thick atmosphere. So I think and then next time I do this one, I'm going to go to a higher altitude. I'm going to go back up to that 25 kilometer altitude. I'm thinking. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, let's do that right now. So for the next one, this has been at 300 lately. And I want to get this up to 25. Save. So new flight plan. All right. Meanwhile, this is doing okay. I think we can just... We are 125 kilometers from the runway, giving a little bit of time warping. And I can splash down anywhere, but there is an extra 12 reputation if I put it down at the runway with a descent angle lower than 10 degrees. And that last bit, that 10-degree bit's there so that nobody just puts parachutes on their planes and just drops onto the runway, which honestly I think is harder to do than doing it legit anyway. Give a little bit of flap. Just a little. Again, I'm going to do a quick save because I'm a coward and a wimp. And hopefully we've rectified our parachute issue. We'll find out very soon. A little more flaps. Last time I came in too fast. So how much science did we end up transmitting? Zeros? Oh, it's stored aboard. It's a sample being collected. We collected 360 grams worth of science, all in George's sweat. His panicked sweat. Or her panicked sweat. Keep forgetting George is a girl. 1.8 science. As long as we can recover safely. A little lower on the flaps. Don't want to lose too much speed here. Angle to the runway is 5 degrees. I think that's good. We are set to a pitch of 6 degrees. I think I might just stick with this X2 until I get this experiment rocket. Oh no, that is done. Until I do this science. Until I get that science done. That supersonic science done. I think we'll make that kind of the emphasis. I don't think this is this is not a ton of money compared to like big rocket launches. Because we're not rebuilding this plane. We're just fueling it up. You're getting the parachutes sorted out. Getting in pretty close here. Maybe put this at 4 degrees. I like my speed this time. All right. Oh, leveling off. Gonna switch to standard fly-by-wire at this point and assume control. A little more flaps, gear. Down there. I think I'm lined up a little more this way again. There we go. And heavy concentration. I should have full flaps at this point. Okay, get down there. Get down there, George. Okay, are we going to get our parachute? We're below. We are not. Okay, what am I doing wrong with the parachute? I really got to figure this out. We're also going to run out of runway soon. Brakes, 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 brakes. But clearly parachute was armed and not deploying. Maybe I just need to take it off and just remount it. Give me any information here? I don't think so. Okay, I'm going to close that. All right, whatever. I'm going to actually lower the... Whoa. I don't know what that noise was. Sounded like an explosion. I just lowered the landing gear, for goodness sakes. Okay, anyway, contract is complete. Happy with that. 12 reputation. Let's recover into the spaceplane hangar. Okay, and again... Oh, I've not been doing my training either. Crew updates. George is off till November 23rd. 1.8 science. Excellent. Okay, I should do... I keep forgetting to do the crew training. Frederic would be up... Oh, wait. That's the wrong button. Frederic will be up next. Proficiency training. They're inactive. Mission training. They're both inactive. Okay, so might the... Oh, I did the training earlier. I remember that. Okay, anyway. Redstone is being rolled out before the Bell is done recovering. So we'll be getting to that next. That's very exciting. And again, we'll time warp to sunrise. And we will launch. Okay, so just a quick recap on the rocket. This is the inaugural launch of this brand new booster featuring the A6 engine. It's the NAA75-1-110A, but it's got the A6 configuration on it. This is the same motor, I believe, that went on the Redstone, which is the intercontinental ballistic missile, but most famously for lifting the Mercury spacecraft into space to put the first Americans into space. But what it's lifting here is a combination of a Veronique second stage and the U-2000B, which you've just been seeing failing to get into space, but hopefully it will do a little bit better this time. And the goal is, if I pick my uncrewed ones, to get 6,000 kilometers downrange. It will not be doing any of these speed records. It also will be collecting science. I have aboard the mass spectrometer. It needs to get into space, I am pretty sure, before that's going to be doing anything for me. But hopefully that will collect us some science. But in the meantime, what I got to do is I got to get McJeb out. McJeb, the ascent guidance, and just go through and check some numbers. So 150 kilometers for altitudes. People's recommending I should make this higher. Probably I should, but I'm going with what I got for now. This comfortably did it as long as the engines don't fail on me. I got a turn shape of 45% that I entered in, so I'm going to stick with that. Take that off. We also have under options, we want to make sure that there's auto staging and that it supports the hot staging. We also want to limit, keep throttle over 100% so that it never tries to reduce the throttle. Okay, I think that's cool. I think maybe this one too. Not 100% sure what the keep limited throttle over 100%, limit throttle to 100%. Not sure as to the differences between those two, but you know what? Click both of them when in doubt. Okay, engage that, and we're going to run our downrange program. And now it's cross your fingers time. All right, we are clearing the pad. And it does accelerate pretty slowly here at the beginning because we are right at the top end of what this A6 engine is going to lift for us. And we're starting to tilt ourselves over. Again, as is wont to happen, we tend to be launching these things at first thing in the morning and going straight into the sun. Oh, wait. Okay, okay, okay. That's good, 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 good. I think I should be able to just do a little time warping safely. And get this thing downrange. It pitches over really, like, significantly. I'm getting all these people telling me, like, you want to be at a pitch of 45 degrees when you release this rocket. And I don't think that's right, and I think it depends upon how much thrust you still have in these things for getting the downrange. It got comfortably down the range. It may not be ideal at this point, but it did comfortably get to this 6,000 kilometers. We'll see what the next one is, and might be tweaking this rocket, but I'm hoping this rocket can do a few missions for me before I have to build something new. Okay, should be getting it to spin up soon to stabilize the next stage because nothing is going to be guided after this. So waiting for those motors. There we go. And off goes the Veronique. And this should burn for a little while longer, getting some funky texture here. It looks better if I do that. I was having some fun kind of rendering all of that, wasn't it? Alright, so this will burn for a little bit, pushing it ever further downrange. Again, I'll cautiously give a little bit more time warping. Oh, we are getting the mass spectrometer going. So it does go flying high. So there's a little bit of flying high science that it can collect. It takes, though, 2 hours to collect it all. So clearly we're not going to be spending enough time in the upper atmosphere to get a significant portion of this. What probably something like that rocket plane. Put the mass spectrometer on that. Get it up. It's still, well, we'll see. We'll play around with the idea. I mean, getting a jet to get over 40 kilometers is going to be pretty challenging. I'm not even sure I can do it. Alright, anyway, on to the U-2000B. Again, a little bit of time warping. Apogee is going to pass just now 200. Okay, we're getting a little bit of precession. Well, I think the time warping makes that worse. I'm just going to stop. Stop with the time warping until this thing runs out of fuel, because I think it does make the wobble worse. Thing also has to have 50 units of sounding payload aboard, so that is up there too. We are now in space. And again, 2 hours to collect all of it, but we'll be spending more time in space than we spent in the upper part of the atmosphere, that's for sure. G's are climbing as this thing gets lighter and lighter. But, bam, there we go. We are done. And the engines all did what they're supposed to do, so I'm hoping everything goes well from here on. And we get ourselves significantly downrange, and not only that, but also transmit home a reasonable amount of science. That would also be great. And because it is transmitting, I did put a reasonable amount of electricity aboard. It's still got over a half an hour of battery juice left. Okay, we'll just time warp up to Apogee. A little faster. Oh, we have lost. This is one of the things that's going to happen. We have lost communication. This is not an issue with electricity. It is an issue with ground stations disappearing on us. So we'll have to wait till we pick up another ground station. Here we are in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Probably we'll be picking up this Gran Canaria one. Hopefully pretty soon. It is still, I believe, collecting science during all of this. It's just, just holding it aboard, and then it's going to transmit it once we get a connection back. Okay, we are still going up. 690, yes. What is our downrange is now over 4,000 kilometers, and we're not even at apogee yet. So crossing 6,000 is not going to be an issue. Not going to be an issue. Just realizing, too, I can definitely disengage McJeb. That's not a problem. Okay, oh, we got our signal back. And we should have this data board. So you quickly, yeah, it definitely was collecting data while we were out of communications, but now it's quickly transmitting that away. We have passed our apogee. We are on our way down, and the KOS program is complete. And we are quickly transmitting home science. So far, 1 science. What percentage? Oh my gosh, it's going to take a while to collect it all. But, you know, maybe at some point, I don't think it's worth it doing sounding rockets, or, sorry, these intercontinental ballistic rockets to collect this stuff. If I don't have contracts to do, I'll stop. I'm not going to do this just for science. It's not enough to make it worth it. It's too expensive a thing. And at some point, we'll be putting things in orbit, and then I can put the mass spectrometer on there and easily finish off what's left of this science. So we can see the African coast coming up here now. And we have completed the contract 6,000 kilometers downrange. We also did an uncrewed speed record of 7,000 meters per second. Just noticed that as well. So awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, contracts are complete. We got messages to read. Experimental. Oh, this was from before. Congratulations on a successful flight. 35 reputation and 150 confidence from the experimental Rocketplanes contracts that I did. And the optional land on the runway got the 12 reputation and 43 confidence from that. And we got an uncrewed speed record of 7,000 meters per second just now. 14 reputation from that. And then the downrange 6,000 kilometers, 83 reputation, 360 confidence for that. You get so much confidence in this game. So much confidence. Here we can actually take a look too at this science archive. Why don't we get both of these? Because here we filter for the vessel and take a look at mass spectrometry. We've collected 10% of the available space low, not even registering a percentage on the flying high part. Now it's just taken this thing to its demise. We'll just see how much science we actually get. Of course, again, communications might prove out. There's we got this station here, STD Ascension. Hopefully we'll have this until we're going to actually land in the ocean, so that's good. Not crashing into any toxically endangering people. Fortunately, once we lose our communication, whatever science we did not transmit is no longer going to be. So we've done 20% of the science that's available up here. Total of 1.9 science, but of course the contract was the main thing. Oh, we have now timed out. I believe it is now below the horizon. I don't think it's a question of stronger antennas. It's just simply it drops below the horizon. So I think we're done. I don't think there's more to get. We got 20%, 1.8 science plus the 0.1, 1.9 science all told. I think now it's just going to die. Okay, we are back in the atmosphere, and this will not take long. And it's probably collecting science, but it's not able to transmit it, so that doesn't really matter. Okay, and boom, and just a little science core, that's it. Over. Okay. Still. Success. Back to the Space Center. Alright, and with that done, let's go take a look at Mission Control and see what other contracts we have available coming to us. So under X-Planes Research, okay, there is this Mach 2 supersonic. That has to be a jet. I will get into jets at some point, but I'm going to try and squeeze out everything I can with this rocket plane first. I do have this low supersonic experimental again, this time between 4 and 460 meters per second. This plane can do it. Any altitude restrictions? Oh, vessel is a jet. No rockets. Oh, shoot. Oh, experimental rocket plane's optional. This is the one. This is the one I could do. This time reach 550 meters per second between 10 and 20 kilometers. I can definitely do that. This is, there's a series of 3 contracts, so this is part 2 of that. So I think I can definitely do that. I think that's a worthwhile one. And I'll just stick with the same plane as long as I can do it, and then we'll upgrade it. Stratospheric research, I think, has to be a jet, get to 22 kilometers. And then X-Planes high altitude. Oh, hang on. 40 kilometers. If I upgrade the cockpit... Arr! I might save you. And then X-Planes hypersonic... This was with a rocket plane. It just doesn't specify, so you can use a rocket plane. This one, get to 2,000 meters per second. Okay, this plane cannot do that. All right, so I think I could do this if I upgraded the cockpit, but what I think I'll do is just keep working with the X2. So I think I'll grab this guy without upgrading the cockpit, reach 20 kilometers, and reach a speed of 550 meters per second between 10 and 20 kilometers, and then get to 20 kilometers. And I can do that at the same time with doing the... Yeah, so I'm going to grab that. Boom. And under early satellites, we have another downrange contract of 7,500 kilometers. And anything else that we need to look about? 50 units of sounding payload. Probably no, it doesn't even have every other. Yeah, minimum altitude of 140. All of that's trivial. I'm pretty sure my redstone can do that. All right, so what we're gonna do, we got a few things happening. Let's get into here. Okay, there's our redstone, and what I want to do is modify this contract, or see if we can get this to go. Yeah, it just has to go 70. Yeah, I don't have to modify anything with it, I think. And I'm going to try this without modifying anything. I'm going to keep the exact same launch profile and see if it can do the 7,500, because I wouldn't be surprised if it can without me changing a bloody thing. So, here, put this on the... Oh, I got to go to... okay, this contract has to be added to the Uncrewed contract list. And this contract has to be added... Oops. Didn't mean to do that. This has to be to the crewed contract list. Okay, so uncrewed contracts right here. Yep. All right. I'm not gonna change a thing. I'm gonna see what this does, just with the exact same profile. So ascent guidance, We're also going to want to watch our ascent stats to keep track of that downrange distance in case this thing craps out. But I'm pretty sure I've gotten this thing going 11 kilometers downrange. I think I'm just not going to change anything. This will still be 45%. Options are all still the same. Limit throttle, okay. And engage and run downrange. Boom. Okay. Alright, and we're going to give a little time warping here. Maybe a lot of time warping. Get this done. So exactly the same launch profile we just saw with the previous mission. I really should have had this ascent window open on the previous mission, and I would be answering my own question whether this thing gets 7,500 kilometers downrange, but I'm pretty sure it does. Okay, take the time warp off because this thing's going to spin up in just a moment. Alright, on to the Veronique once again. And this time I'm not going to time warp because I do think it kind of I think it exaggerates whatever kind of little wobble might be there. So I'm just going to let this run in real time. And of course this thing is again collecting that science, that mass spectrometry stuff. For whatever that's worth, it's a little bit of extra science. Might as well have it aboard. Thing hardly weighs anything. Okay, we're getting close to the end of this second stage burn, and then on to the third one. But I'm honestly thinking for my orbital rocket, I'm honestly thinking of not messing with this top two stages. Simply building, once I get those orbital rocket engines, building a booster around one of those. And just, like, this is not far from getting to orbital velocity as it is. I'm trying to remember what it is. What is orbital velocity? I can look that up. I have a spreadsheet. It's on my spreadsheet. I know you can't see this, but you can keep watching that rocket as I look up on my spreadsheet the orbital velocity at 150 kilometers. Orbital velocity is 7,818 meters per second. So, like, you know, we're at a significant percentage here of orbital velocity. I don't think it'll take too much more to put this over the top. Yeah, we cracked the 7,000 meter per second speed record. So clearly we're not too far from 7,818 meters per second. What is the? Now I'm really curious to watch this. Looks like it's not going to be much over 7,000. Of course, it's hardly an ideal launch profile either. But, like, yeah, I add another several hundred meters per second to this, and I am in orbit. So we are not far off. Okay, let's time warp up to our apogee of 775 kilometers. And see where we're at. If we're over halfway, I'm going to call it. And if not, I got to do some tweaking. Okay, we are just about at apogee. We're at 5,255, so well over halfway to 7,500. This is going to do it. Not a problem. Not a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it that way. We're going to end our simulation. Revert to editor. And okay, I'm just pushing this into the building queue. Flat out, just the way it is, right? No reason to change anything. No. So we're going to push launch. That is now being integrated. So its completion due date right here is January 15th of 1956. Cool beans. Okay, so we got, let's keep going. Launch complex, or launch pad is being reconditioned. And we're now going to recover the Bell X2 and try and figure out what the heck is going on with it. Okay, so move this over a bit. We will edit you. Okay, so it's just, okay, we can fill the tanks. You don't have to come into the spaceplane hangar, by the way, to fill the tanks. You can do that from when you go to do the air launch. There'll be a button to say fill tanks. I'm going to take this parachute and throw it away. And I'm going to go to here, and we're going to take this. Is that the procedural one? I think it's that one. And we're going to just put it on the surface here somewhere, like so. Let's snap. And then I'm going to... it's not working. I don't like this upside downy thing. There. Okay, and we're going to shrink her down. Previous size. That's as small as it gets. Okay, right like that. And we're going to set this as I'm just going to get a whole new one, and then we're going to just tuck it down a little bit and call it. And I'm hoping that will be fine. Okay, this is put the drag chute texture on it. Make it a drag chute. I think I kept this all at the defaults. Yeah, I think that's all just fine. That's all fine. That's all the defaults we had before. Spare chutes. I only need one spare chute. I don't even know if I need that because I've done 2 landings now without the chutes at all. Yeah. So save those settings and apply. Okay, that's been done successfully. Did use the dry mass. Yep. And then I'm simply going to take this. I just don't like it sitting here at the top. Maybe other people, it doesn't bother them, but it bothers me. I don't want to see it. I thought I had the fairing there and not the parachute. I think I'm on the parachute. Ah, shoot. There. Local. Okay. Snap off. Are you gonna let me drag it? There it goes. Just tuck it under. This should be good, right? I think it should be good. I'm hoping it'll be good. Okay, so that's set, that's set, that's set. And then I realized I've been saying since they think the second launch, second flight of this thing to put a fuel dumper valve on it. And I think those are under the smart parts, utility. No, control. There we go. Fuel valves. So we have the straight fuel valve, and then we have the... Oh, I see what happens. One dumps it straight back, one dumps it back, like, in a direction. If you are in space with one of these and you use one, this actually does provide you with thrust. So you have to be a little bit cognizant of that. For us, though, it doesn't matter. So we're going to stick this on the bottom. And... yeah. I don't know if, I guess changing the rate at which it drops fuel. I mean, if I think bigger's better, because if we're dropping fuel, we're just dumping it. We're not trying to go for anything specific. We just want to dump. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to leave it there just like that. It is in the staging diagram. Can I remove it from the staging diagram? Because I don't want it in the staging diagram. Disable staging. Good stuff. Okay. And let's put the parachute in its own stage. Okay. I'm hoping this is now taking care of what I want to take care of. So we're going to save this locally. Yep. We're going to also, I can't add it to the plans from here. Okay. So we're going to save our edits. And this is going to take just 3 hours. 3 hours to make the changes we just made. Okay. Oh, I got to unlock this that valve I just put on. Fine. Okay, and I do want to write up another flight plan. So just to make sure. So we'll take a look at the contract. Oops. Oh, because I did that in simulation mode, it reverted back. So this guy is an uncrewed contract. I put those into mission plans and then it disappeared. And this one is a crewed contract. And now if I go to crewed contracts, there it is. So I want to write a little bit of a thing. So this has got to get to 550 meters per second while below 20 kilometers. And then reach 20 kilometers in altitude. And then land back on the runway to get the bonus. Okay. And then I also have this guy, and it's the supersonic flight one. Don't know why it's being funny. There we go. And supersonic flight needs to be below 40 kilometers, above 10 kilometers, and below between 450 and 525 meters per second. So let's open up our Visual Studio here and look at this. So what we're going to do, I'm going to keep with the 300 kilometer for the where I'm going to drop from. We're going to go to an altitude of, shoot, I got to look again, of 18 kilometers. So we're going to go to an altitude of 18 kilometers and then 25, because I do think it's more efficient than 25 kilometers. That's going to be our flight plan. And we got to set the max speed of 500 meters per second. That is correct. So we're going to save that, and we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to get rid of this and get rid of this. All right. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Let's, yeah, we're reconditioning the X2. Oh, and do I have anybody? Oh, I don't know if I have a Kerbal available. I don't know if I got me an astronaut. Frederique is free, but I think I need to train her still for the mission. So if we do the, yeah, the proficiency training I think is done. I think that's a one-offer. So let's train Frederique for the mission. It's going to take 9 days for that. And in the meantime, we're going to get the U-2000B sounding raw. Okay. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to train them every time. I should really... Here. When George is not add an alarm. Did that put that in here? Or did it add the alarm in the Kerbal alarm clock? It's in Kerbal alarm clock. Okay. I got to get in the habit of doing that. Okay, get rid of that. So, we have the sounding rocket coming first. Shoot. How long's Frederique going to be? I've lost track. Frederique's mission. Add an alarm for that. No, it's right here. November 24th. It's going to take 9 days. The air launch... I guess we might as well prep it, and then we just don't launch it until her training is done. Okay, the Bell X2 mounting is... No, I can roll out the U-2000B. And that's going to get done before the X2 is mounted anyway. Okay, warp to sunrise. All right, and we will launch you. Okay, we do not need McJeb for this. We don't have a contract to do. This is all for science. So run. Sounding. Recover. Go. hopefully this will be a little cleaner now. I like it. I like it. I like that little half-second delay. I think it's better. It's taken me about a dozen launches on this. Dozen times doing this to get something that I'm finally a little bit happy with. Okay. Hopefully this time we will get ourselves into space. Last time we did this, it did not get into space because there was a little bit of staging issues down there. It did collect a little bit of science, but really it's space that this thing is all about. I'm going to, because I'm starting to get a little punchy with this, I'm going to put this on locked. I'm going to aim the camera right at my little smart part here. We're going to get a nice little looky. We're going to look at it like this. Just out of pure excitement. You can also, if you get into the settings, and if you turn down, if you're into making these cinematics and you want that just like locked on, where are the camera stuff? Okay, video and graphics has got to be in here. The camera shake stuff. Da-dum-dum. Da-dum-dum. Where did you hide it? I thought for sure it was in here somewhere. One last look, and then I'm not... UI, music, voice. That's sound. Video... Da 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 da. Connect. Oh, there we go. Camera wobble. Why am I having so trouble? I don't know why. Camera wobble external. If you turn that down to nothing, apply and accept that and resume. Now this is like locked on, like the camera's like attached on a pole. There we go. I don't know. Just to change this up a little bit. Okay, what do we got? We got an apogee of 100 kilometers, 110, 120, 130, 140. Door just opened because we just passed 40 kilometers there. 180, 190, 200, 220, 240. Oh my gosh. 292 kilometers on our apogee, so we're going to spend a good amount of time in space, hopefully collecting. We're done with the biological sample in the upper atmosphere, so it's not doing really anything now. So let's get up over 100 kilometers, or 140 kilometers we need to get to. And then we see this click on. We got 16 minutes. 16 minutes of science to collect up here. Exposing our little fruit flies. Let's see what we get. And again, this stuff does have to be returned. Okay, we are just about at apogee. I don't know why my throttle... Oh! Because KOS is in control, throttle's still full. Okay, we are now falling. We've passed apogee. Still got about 13 minutes of science to get. We are now falling back down. We started at 16. I'm just going to get an idea of just how many more of these launches I got to do. Coming back down from whence we came. Okay, just about at 140, so 10 minutes. So we collected about 6 minutes worth of this science. We still got about another 10 minutes, so it's going to take 2 more launches, and that will finish off the biological science. I think that'll be worth it. I really do, because this is not expensive. There's another 7.6 science. That's a lot of science. I should have been doing these a while ago. All right, we're coming down. Oh, and there we go. We just disengaged our little booster. And our program has ended. And we are not collecting science anymore because we've collected all of this stuff. And it does come close. Like, it is not impossible for us to hit our own booster on that, is it? Okay, door is now closed as we come roaring back down into the atmosphere, pegging our G meter. But fruit flies, they can take a lot of G's. All right. Oh, I can hear things banging and booming. But we should be deploying our parachutes relatively soon. And then getting this thing down to the surface for that sweet, sweet science. Where do they deploy? I've forgotten what the settings were. Is it going to be 8 kilometers? Nope. Maybe it's going to be 6 kilometers. Nope. 5 kilometers. Just thinking, what are the nice numbers where it gets pre-deployed? Oh, there we go. Parachutes have been pre-deployed. Getting dizzy. We can now time warp. Time warp to full deployment. There we go. Full deployment now. All right, I can see the moon dancing around up there, almost out of electricity. There's the moon right there. One day we'll be shooting something at you, doing the moon shot, but not today. And that is most certainly our booster hitting the ground. That is not healthy. Okay, 200 meters from the surface. 100. Oh, just ran out of electricity. Perfect timing. Okay, 5, 4, 3, bump. Oh, we landed in the water. There we go. Okay, let's recover. Normal recovery. Okay, and I believe, so what was that? I got, oh, we recovered 7.6 science from that. We're now up to 12.3 science. We can probably get another node put into the queue there to be researched. We can go to our plans and get another U-2000B sounding rocket. There it is right there. Push that in. And so that is going to be ready. Where's the U-2000B? Right here. That's going to be ready in January. Also coming up in January, I believe, is our next red. Oh wait, that was the Redstone. Where's the U-2000? Oh, right here. It's coming up in December. A month after that comes the Redstone for going for the 7,500 kilometer downrange contract. We are remounting our X. Oh, the X2 is being mounted, but we do have to wait for the mission training for. Got to wait another week for the mission training for our pilot to be ready for that. But you know what? Looking at the time of the stream, or not the stream, of course, of the video, I'm thinking that this one is going to be coming to an end. Thank you very much for watching. If you really want to help this video out, by all means, make sure to like and subscribe, but mostly comment down below. I really do believe that the algorithm loves that engagement, but for the most part, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to the Patreon patrons and YouTube members who directly support this channel. Have yourself a great time. We'll see you again for the next one of these in a few days. Bye, everybody.